Nighttime transforms the city. Shadows lengthen, neon hums. Reflections shimmer, and the light itself takes on a new character, sculpting scenes and shaping the way we see. Light isn't just illumination, it is a tool, a voice, a storyteller. It breathes life into the night, carving contrast, defining silhouettes, and painting the streets in shifting hues. In this video, I'm exploring light in all its forms, how it shapes my images, influences composition, and enhances the mood of a scene. Night is defined by contrast, deep blacks against searing highlights, streetlights casting serene pools of soft light and emitting warm glows, bright white street lamps piercing the darkness. I love exploring interesting structures, like archways, where the glow from a distant street lamp spills into these spaces, its edges softened by the encroaching dark. Tunnels become natural frames, portals from shadowed worlds where light and colour illuminate and contrast with the dead of night outside. Passages where light flickers and fades, caught in the rough textures of stone and brick, pooling in uneven patches along walls and worn pavements. These confined spaces amplify the contrast, shadows stretch deeper, darkness feels denser, and makes for atmospheric, moody and gritty nighttime scenes. I relish in seeking out pockets of light, like a solitary street lamp with its scattered light, or an ornate and intricate doorway enveloped with golden cascading light, like this image creating a gilded abyss. Vibrant neon lighting, signs or artwork, or the piercing bright whites of a passing car to carve a subject from the darkness, emphasizing not just the contrast of light and dark, but the contrast of colour, shape and texture, as in this photograph of the fuchsia ghost. A solitary figure moves through the night, their destination uncertain, perhaps even to them. This is somewhere, nowhere, a space caught between presence and absence, where the glow of a lone street lamp barely holds back the dark. Shadows swallow details, leaving only hints of movement, of place, of story. The contrast conceals as much as it reveals, turning the ordinary into something elusive. Is this a journey forward or an escape into the unknown? The answer remains in the silence, hidden in the spaces where light refuses to go. A lone figure moves through the night, caught between the glow of a fading light and the weight of darkness ahead. Shadows stretch and distort, echoing the uncertainty of the unknown. The old brick and stone walls whisper stories of the past, but the path forward remains uncertain. In this fleeting moment, light lingers, just enough to remind us of what was, before it slips away into the void. A lone figure stands beneath the cold glare of a street lamp, suspended between light and shadow, caught in a moment of hesitation. The darkness presses in from all sides, the cobbled ground fading into obscurity. His arm raised mid-motion, A silent conversation interrupted. The world beyond the pool of light ceases to exist. Broken transmission, a signal lost, a message unheard. As I wandered through the city, I captured a few more precious moments where contrast and drama take centre stage. Each image holds its own story, waiting for you to step in, to imagine, to create the narrative within the shadows and light. Light dances in the city, bouncing off glass, water and metal. Streets adorned in the glow of neon reflections turn an ordinary pavement into a river of colours. Windows distort and layer reflections, adding depth and dimension to an otherwise flat composition. The calm surface of the canal transforms into a perfect mirror, doubling the world above and creating striking, almost surreal compositions. I look for reflections in unexpected places. Sometimes the best image isn't in what's directly lit, but in the fragments of light scattered across a scene. In the glow of the city's artificial night, light and shadow perform their quiet dance. Deep purples spill onto the glass, bending the space into something surreal, while a single screen casts its own luminous reality. A door bold and red, standing impossibly bright against the dark. But it is not the door that takes centre stage. It is the figure before it, backlit, faceless, unknowable. Their presence is felt, yet their details remain hidden, swallowed by the contrast. Unaware of the mystery their silhouettes create, light sculpts the moment, darkness completes it. In this interplay of colour and contrast, what remains unseen is just as powerful as what is illuminated. Silhouettes are where light meets absence. Shadows, too, tell a story, adding intrigue, depth and movement, making the unseen just as compelling as what is visible. The path is worn, shaped by countless steps before this one. Steps that fade as quickly as they're made. Worn paths, fading steps. Light sculpts the scene, stretching shadows long and deep, turning the pavement into a canvas of contrast. The street lamp's glow carves fleeting shapes. Branches twist like ink strokes. A silhouette drifts forward, its presence momentary. Here, in the dance of deep shadow and bright highlight, the past lingers for only a breath before vanishing into the night. A dimly lit sanctuary in the city's after hours. Shadows gather around the glow, figures hunched over quiet conversations, their faces obscured, only gestures remain. The crimson light bathes the scene, casting silhouettes against a wall of relics and remnants, fragments of stories untold. In this half-lit, bloodlight communion, words are whispered, secrets exchanged, and the night moves on, leaving only the glow to bear witness. Cities are built on geometry. lines, angles, intersections of light and shadow. At night, these elements become more pronounced as artificial light cuts through darkness, revealing structures and form. I use light to define these layers. A warm interior glow framed by a window. The delineated form of a bridge illuminated against the night sky. Or the interplay of signage, artwork, and architecture. By controlling exposure and framing, I can guide the viewer's eye through the scene, stacking depth and leading them into the image. Through the darkness of the street, a single doorway carves out a scene of warmth and precision, a study in geometry and layers. Not just an entrance, but a frame carving a scene from the glow within. Shelves of glassware and liquor bottles create repeating patterns, reflections layering upon themselves, a composition of depth and symmetry. At its heart, the watchful bartender stands poised in the glow of ambient light. The doorway does more than reveal, it separates, invites, and composes. Here the interplay of light and framing transforms the ordinary into the cinematic, a fleeting tableau caught between the stillness and motion. The bartender framed by the glow is both subject and observer, watching as much as he is watched. Two figures stand caught in a moment that feels both casual and suspended in time. The sharp, geometric arrows behind them push forward, urging motion, direction, purpose. Yet they remain still, lost in conversation, in thought, in the haze of their own cigarette smoke. The background suggests momentum, a path forward, but their presence disrupts it. Error 404, future not found. In this layered composition of light, shadow and structure, the city offers a quiet contradiction. Movement without motion, direction without destination. Light doesn't just illuminate, it creates feeling. A dimly lit scene whispers of solitude. A glowing restaurant window invites warmth and nostalgia. Harsh headlights single out the unwitting actors in the scene and define the focal point of the photograph. The shadows in between creating a mood where moments linger, waiting to be seen. By choosing where and how I capture light, I shape the mood of my images. For example, in this image, Saks in the City, the warm glow from the bar window contrasts with the cool darkness of the street, creating a cinematic quality. The way the mural is illuminated adds a focal point, almost making the saxophonist come to life. I love the juxtaposition of this image. The contrast between reality and art creates a quiet narrative. One figure immersed in modern life, the other frozen in a timeless act of expression. The bar's window, filled with neon reflections and silhouettes, adds a dreamlike quality. It hints at life inside, warmth and conversation, while outside, solitude and motion dominate. At night, colour shifts. Streetlights cast their own unique tones. Sodium lamps glow in deep amber. Neon pulses in a multitude of electrifying colours. These colours don't just illuminate, they create atmosphere and emotion. The city at night is a canvas of colour, and the choices I make in composition dictate the mood the image conveys. Night transforms the city, revealing what daylight conceals, shaping what we see and how we feel. Light isn't just a presence, it's a force, guiding the eye, sculpting form, and creating moments that would otherwise go unnoticed. Through these images, we've seen how light carves through darkness, how it defines a scene, a figure, a fleeting story. It turns the ordinary into the cinematic, the overlooked into the unforgettable. And so the night continues, shifting, glowing, whispering its stories. We just have to look, to see, to capture.